Hello, and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. It can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Purr. And I have my cup mark here. Yay. Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh, ooh.
is it time?
It is time. And you can
Let's
get your
go.
cookbook at lanagscreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Get your cup mug, period. Damn. And you see that QR code just right over there on the right side of your screen? Yep, right there. Scan it and it'll lead you right to the link. So get your cup mug, period. Thank you.
Hi, y'all. I'm Mike. I'm your buff bodybuilding correspondent down in Dallas, Texas. I put the him and himbo and the gay and video gamer. And this episode, there was so much cross pollination going on. Cross pollination was the theme of the episode. Cross pollination this, cross pollination that. I don't know why this was such a term used by the cast, but it was their favorite term of the episode, apparently. And what a great merge episode, though. I'm excited to get into this.
Absolutely. I think this is a really good merge episode, so I'm excited to talk about it too. And we're going to talk about it. But first, if you're new here, if you haven't been here before, welcome, first of all. Second of all, please hit the subscribe button because we are here every week talking about Survivor, Amazing Race, um, Guts and Glory, Dancing with the Stars, and a lot of other shows to come, more things happening. We're talking about it. And Squid Games, the challenge, was just started that. So we are here talking a lot of competitive reality television. And so if that's what you're into, if you're into that, this is what you want to be. So subscribe to this channel and help us reach our mission of getting 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. The end of the year is pretty much here and we're not there yet. And so I'm going to keep talking about it until we reach that goal. But I would really like if you helped us out. So hit the subscribe button and all the bells and whistles underneath to say you support us. And we truly, truly appreciate you. Also, if you're a fan of Drag Race or drag, we have a channel for you here on in the Cup Network. At the Cup Pod is where you need to be here on YouTube. Go click that. We talk all things drag race, and we got a lot of it. We're talking about a lot of it. So if that's your gig, if that's what you're into, go check it out over there. Support that channel. And if you're a fan of Eurovision Song Contest, which we see a lot of people are into, which I love. I love that for everybody. Juniors is about to start, so that channel is about to be popping off the chain. So definitely go support that. At the Cup ESC is the place you want to be. Join us, follow us on our audio podcast links. All those things are in the description below, by the way, in our link tree. Click on that. And then our audio podcast links are down there so you can check us out. And we want to be everywhere you are. So hit that link, follow us so we can give you all the information, keep you up to date. Join our Patreon. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. We got a lot of fun things going on in our Patreon. Our Patreon is finally popping off, hitting off. We got things going. We got shows going. We have worked so hard to get to this point, and now we're finally here, and we're ready to share all the ideas and thoughts that we've had with you in our Patreon. We have Patreon exclusive series going on, and then we'll have some things that will come out into our Patreon first before it ever touches our channels. So you'll get the first look of a lot of shows. So check out our Patreon. You definitely want to join it. Now's the time to do it. Follow us on all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. All those links are down there scrolling past. You can follow Mike and myself on those platforms if you want to. We're there. It's fun. Sure. But definitely join the Cup Pod on our socials because we are definitely trying to engage with all of our viewers and things. So check it out. Let's get into this episode because
Let's do it.
it was an episode that I was like, interesting. This whole beginning was very interesting to me because, of course,
Yes.
we know it's merged. Everybody is waiting to hear those famous words, drop your buffs. They dropped it, and well, they're not waiting to hear. They've heard it several times now in this season, but now this is the one that matters. This is the one that counts. Drop your buffs. It's time to merge, and they send them on to Kelly Beach.
No, I wrote that. I was like, when they showed Uli first getting the drop the buffs, and so I was like, oh, so like Hina. And then Hina gets the message to drop their buffs and pack up. And I'm like, they're going to Kelly. Like, they're going to the Nightmare Beach.
Of all beaches to go to, you pick Kelly to go to. I was like, yeah, no. I want to burn Kelly to the ground. Like, this beach, we can never come back here again. It's cursed.
It is. It is. And I think also when we saw the 3 remaining Kelly, Steven, Sage, and Jawan, when they got their message, they're like, oh, they're coming here? And like Jawan's face was like, I don't want to live here for the next 2 weeks. Like, that's miserable.
It was miserable. But I think I'm guessing the reason they had to keep it at Kelly is because that's where the chickens were. And they couldn't pack up the chickens to take them to a different beach, but they wanted the chickens. So I'm guessing, I was like, oh, well, I guess the chickens are there. So they had to go to Kelly Beach. But
yeah, I'm wondering why they chose Kelly. I mean, I'm sure there's some production logistics reason behind it all. Or maybe they just, I don't know. In this new modern era, they always want to make Survivor more cutthroat and more difficult because like it's only 26 days. So it has to be that much harder. And so they want to send them to the beach with the least comfort.
Yeah. To start all over again, I guess, at this new phase. I don't know, but whatever.
It's a choice.
It's a choice indeed. Because I was like, I wouldn't want to go to Kelly Beach. I don't care how many amenities y'all bring over here. You can bring your hammocks and your tarps and all that. I still don't want to be on Kelly Beach. This beach is horrible.
And we see later in the episode, the hammock doesn't make it. It falls. We'll get to that. But
yeah, it's just crazy. But the reaction, though, from Jawan, Sage, and Steven was very interesting because they had just voted out Shannon. And so now they were trying to figure out how they were going to spin this story of why Shannon was going. Because Jawan and Sage knew that the old Uli was going to wonder what the heck happened. Shannon should be here because this would be a number for us and we can still be Uli strong, blah, blah, blah. And so they had to spin the story and figure out, they were like nervous. Like, how do we tell them? Do we just, what do we say? Do we even go to the beach? Like, they just laid there. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
I'll get to the beach in a second, but like I was wondering when they were voting out Shannon, I was like, this is very fun, but like Shannon was like Savannah's, I think, like not second in command, like third in command. Rizzo is second in command.
Yeah.
In Savannah's mind, but maybe Sophie has overtaken that now. But I was like, I was wondering, I was like, they have to come up with a good lie to make this not an all-out war.
Yeah.
And so they were fabricating. We'll see later, like as the episode progresses, what their story, their course of events was, and has some truth, a lot of lying. And we'll see how that works out. But when they get there, I don't know why they were just lying in the shelter, just letting them like celebrate and everything. And I'm like, if y'all really don't want them to think that y'all are like a close like trio, I don't know why somebody's going to think that, because I think they all thought Steven was gone. But then when they saw Steven was still there, I don't know. That should raise alarm bells immediately, especially when they're not going to meet you. Like,
right. I mean, I've never seen anybody like let the boats come in and everybody's celebrating and they're just like, nah. Like at one point they were like, Steven was like, should I hide? And then when they come in, it's like, okay, yay, it's me. Or I'm like, well, just go out there. Just go out there.
I was a little disappointed in their social graces. I'm like, I think that's a good moment to like hug and like have that moment with people, like a human moment.
Yeah, they were too nervous and worried about how to get their story together, and they spun it. They talked about what they were going to say, how they were going to say it, blah blah blah. And you saw the reaction when they did come out, and everybody saw that Shannon was gone and Steven was still there. Savannah and Nate and Rizzo were very like shocked, like what
Mm-hmm.
the heck happened? And Juwan went to Nate was like, we'll tell you all about it. Like
Yeah.
we'll tell you what happened. We just got to get some time. And he was like, okay, we'll talk. We'll talk.
It was awkward, and I
It
will
was,
say this is the first of many shocked Savannah faces this episode.
yeah, she was very, very shocked. Um, does the challenge happen before they have that conversation? I'm trying to remember because they do sit and talk, but I think no, I think it happens after. It happens afterwards. So they
Well, no, well, they're all together in a group.
right, and they start
Uh,
talking about what happened with Shannon. What
yeah,
happened with
like
Shannon?
all 11 of them are like at the shelter, and they're all kind of seated around. And they stop. They
Because
basically the one thing they want to know is like, why is
what happened
Shannon
at
not here?
Tribal? What
I
happened
think
at Tribal? I think
even
MC
people who have
asked.
not I'm not sure who. I don't have in my notes who exactly asked. Um, but I mean, I think even if you didn't know any of the people associated in the tribe, like had met them yet in the game,
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody was shocked Shannon was gone because you look at 3 original Uli and then 1 original Hina,
Yep.
and the Hina is still there, and they voted out
Right.
one of the Uli. I want to know what happened. I'm like,
Yeah.
it seems like a slam dunk vote there.
Absolutely. And so they asked, and so they were like, Shannon went crazy. Shannon was spiraling. She was saying everything. She was just paranoia just got to her, and she just came out the gate talking about she wanted to get rid of Jawan. True. But
That's the truth.
that was the truth part. He was like, but then she went crazy in the spiraling lies, the lies. They're like, she was so paranoid and she was playing everybody and she was talking to everybody. And it just got to a point where we didn't know where she was going and she was being such a wild card and blah, blah, blah. And honestly, the story was realistic to a point where people could be like, I could believe that could happen with the pressures being on this island and, not having the proper rest, the proper food. And, it's a tribal, you're nervous, you start talking, and it could happen. People spiral all the time. And so I was like, okay, that was a smart story to come up with. And the fact that all 3 of them said it, and it was like, no way for anybody else to corroborate that story. There was nobody else. And they were telling everything like, here's why I think the slip up is going to come back and bite one of them in the butt. Because Sage was like, and she told everybody about Rizzo's idol.
Mm-hmm.
When Rizzo knows, Sage was the one that told MC about the idol. And I was like, oh, that could come back.
That was probably the overstepping of the lies that they told.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly didn't know if they were going to buy that Shannon just kind of spiraled and went crazy because she seemed so calm the entire season, and they know her as kind of a calm, sort of meditative presence.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that lie wasn't going to sell, but I guess when all 3 of them are there saying like, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened, like Savannah was the one I was looking at because that was the person closest to Shannon
Mm-hmm.
outside of everything, and she bought it. She was just like, oh my gosh, she said Jawan, like, and I know that Savannah probably has a multi-purpose, like at this point she needs numbers. You need
Mm-hmm.
numbers in this merge, and so she's like, look, I wanted to get Jawan and Sage out at the very beginning of this game, but these are the people that I have to work with in the merge, so I need to keep them happy.
Yeah. And so it was they sold their story, people bought the story, and so nobody asked about it anymore. It was just like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So then they find out they have a little mission that they need to accomplish right now because it's an advantage out.
Yeah.
out in there in the jungle somewhere. There's keys being that is all over in the jungle, and everybody has to go find keys. You have to go find one key, come back to this box, and try your key. If it worked, you get the advantage that's in there. If it doesn't, you have to drop a key and go keep looking. And I was like, oh, okay. So everybody's running around the jungle. Seems fun. Seems a lot of running back and forth to find these keys. And eventually, I didn't have banner for it, but I don't care. Sage wins and finds the advantage. Sage finds the advantage. She gets the right key. And I don't even know if she ran so much. I don't even know how many times she went back in the jungle, but they only showed her trying the key box once. She could have tried it more times than that, but they only showed it once. And she was just like, the way she celebrated, it made me feel like that she only went in there once or twice.
Maybe. I did look, I was counting how many keys were in that little discard pot. And it definitely was showed to us out of order because like the first shot of it had a lot of keys in it. And then the second shot of it had less keys than the first shot of it. So I know that's a little editing trick. They want to show specific people going up to try the chest because they're important to the story at this point in the game.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it could be her second try. I would guess it was probably her second or third try. Not that many tries. I can't imagine there'd be more than 50 keys, 30, 40
keys out there. Right. I don't think there'd be that many keys out there. But they tried the keys. Sage wins. She gets the advantage. You'll find out what the advantage is when we get to the challenge, which we go right into the challenge. It was like, oh, okay, no, we're just gonna go right into the challenge. Cool. Yeah, it's a reward challenge and an immunity challenge. But yeah, go ahead.
There's a funny little start at the beginning of the challenge where they're kind of like, okay, logistics. There's 2 Sophies.
Sophie, what do we come up with?
I love how like Sophie with an I is like, I think we should do blue and yellow Sophie, and then yellow Sophie is like, I'm Sophie, she is Soph. And Jeff's like that, and you can kind of see in Sophie with an I's face, kind of like,
I don't want to be called Soph.
Yeah, stole my name.
Soph. So, and you know what? I wouldn't want to be called Soph either. Like, ew. My name is Sophie. Don't call me Soph.
I can't remember if Jeff has ever called her Soph before.
Not until they merged. He never called her Soph up until then. But it was, I guess, we gotta figure out the logistics of it all. And it's Soph. It's
giving me flashbacks to like when Julie Chen on Big Brother was like, "Can I call you Little D?" to Xavier, not to Xavier, to Derek X. Can I call you Little D? And Derek was like, No. And she's like, "Okay, Little D," and everybody's like, "Yay!" And his face is like, "Please don't call me.
Please don't call me Little D. That's awful."
It was giving me flashbacks of that. Like, okay, thank you for giving me this nickname. I think sucks.
Right, that I did not ask for, but thanks. Sure. But they settled on Soph and Sophie, so whatever. We do get to what the reward challenge is going to be. Reward/immunity challenge is going to be. So for the reward, and the reward was for the merge feast. They broke them off in teams of five, because it's 11 of them. I'm sorry, it's 11 people, so 5. Sage's advantage is she didn't have to play in the first half of this challenge for the reward. She already got the reward. She's going to be in the merge feast regardless, so she didn't have to play.
That's a great reward.
That's a great reward, because when I saw this challenge, I was like, I wouldn't want to play in this challenge either.
This looked miserable.
It looked horrible, like horrible. They had to dig out a massive boulder out from the ground, roll it over several obstacles before one person had to climb it to retrieve a machete. Then one team had to use the machete to chop the rope to progress to the end. Well, they still had to go over more obstacles with this heavy boulder. And then once they get to the end, the team will have to climb the boulder up to the top to solve a word puzzle. And the first team to finish the puzzle won the merge feast and the right to compete for individual immunity. So I'm like, okay, miserable. Miserable, miserable, miserable. The boulder is heavy. There's
It's so much physical effort, and they've said like this is probably the hottest season they've ever filmed in Fiji.
yeah,
So they're miserable out there.
it's just hot for
Mhm.
no reason, just to be hot. And it was bad. It was so bad. So on one team you had Nate, Rizzo, Sophie, Soph, Steven, and so look, I'm not gonna do that to you. So here we're saying Sophie with an I.
Sophie with an I.
So on this we have Nate, Rizzo, Sophie with an I, Steven, and Sophie with an IE.
I-E.
On one team, and on the other team we had Christina, MC, Alex, Savannah, and
Juwan.
Yeah, they were on the other team. So they're going. Everybody's back and forth. It's close. It's like nobody's blowing nobody out the water in this challenge. It's like back and forth all the way to the end. I mean, literally to the end. It was close all the way to the puzzle. Everybody was, they got over obstacles quickly. They were getting the stuff done. It wasn't like anybody was a blowout.
Yeah. I did note when Alex jumped on top of the ball, like in one try, like he was kind of like leapfrogging up.
Yeah.
Jeff said the answer to the puzzle, that's how you do it on Survivor. And I'm sure none of the survivors heard that because I've heard enough interviews. They block them out.
Yeah.
He's talking. They're not thinking about what Jeff is saying. He's just prattling off on the side. So
yeah, nobody's listening to Jeff talk about whatever the heck Jeff is talking about. I'm focused on the challenge. Nobody's listening to that nonsense.
But he did say the answer to
the puzzle. He did say, which is crazy because nobody, like I said, nobody was listening to that. But they get to the puzzle and they're trying to figure out what it is. They know it's something Survivor, but what it is. And my girl Sophie with an I pulls it out for the team. I was like, that's why you do it on Survivor. That's what it is. And she tells them, and Nate and Sophie with an IE are on the puzzle. And so they are putting this puzzle together. The other team is right there. They're right on their tail. And they figured it. Alex does figure it out a little late, right after Sophie, but he figures it out. And he tells them, and they start putting it together. At one point, I'm like, oh, this team is going to come and catch them because it was that close. And one team had problem putting their puzzle in, the pieces actually in there, and other was catch. It was back and forth.
It was a buzzer beater for this one. Also, shout out to the original Kele solving the puzzle for everybody because like both teams would have been out. So like that's how you do it on Survivor.
That's how you do it on Survivor. But the winner of this challenge was Nate, Rizzo, Sophie with an RI, Steven, and Sophie IE. They won it. They are going to get the reward. They're going to merge feast. Good on them. Good on them.
I'm just happy when Sophie with an I gets to eat.
Me too.
She's been like withering away all season, and I feel so bad for her. I'm like, yes, so she gets to eat.
She's already tiny to begin with, and she just seems to get tinier and tinier as these episodes go on. So I was very happy that she got to eat. And Sage is going to join them, of course, for her advantage. But now it's time to get into the immunity challenge of it all, where they had to hold a pole that had a ball on top. typical, very classic hold the ball with the pole on Survivor, but they were balancing on a beam. And at regular intervals, they would move to narrow sections of the beam while moving their hands further down the pole to make it a lot more difficult for the, to control the ball on the top of the pole. And like we said, it was one of the hottest, some hot moments, and you could see the sweat just dripping off of them. You could see them trying to focus. It's just hot and miserable. And of course, the last person standing will win immediately.
Mm-hmm. I do like that we're getting some variability. Uh, endurance challenges, I'm sorry, like they used to be like a once a season like treat, but now
Mm-hmm.
it's like a 6 times a season like like thing in the second half. And I'm like, okay, what's the endurance challenge? This immunity. I hope I'm not holding my breath, but I hope there might be some variability in the immunity challenge. This is a classic. They've done this a million times, but
Mm-hmm.
my mind kind of just tunes out. I'm like, okay, who's gonna who do I think would take this? I don't know. Honestly, endurance challenges are just willpower.
It
So
is. It really is. You would think some people who are the strongest, you'd be like, oh, they can hold it, they can manage, and then they fall first. And then some of the people
mhm,
you don't even think would do it wins the whole thing. So it varies. It's just like you said, willpower. Who wants it most?
mhm.
And we saw this play out like that. I honestly, I thought this was Sage's to lose because she was
Same.
fresh. I'm like, she didn't have to do that long, grueling challenge where they were hot and tired and whatever. But it didn't work out that way. The first person to drop was Rizzo, which I don't know if I was that surprised, honestly.
I mean, he can't walk in flippers, so
No,
I'm not surprised he can't balance on the balance beam.
I'm not
So
that surprised either. Rizzo drops first, followed by mm,
Sage,
Sage, which that was surprising.
that was a surprise.
And then Sophie drops, and then Nate drops. And so it comes down to Steven and Sophie, IE. Um, and it was, I don't know. At this point, they made it to the third part of the beam and the lowest rung of the pole. So it was like at this point, I'm like anybody, because both of them were moving, both of them were wobbly, both of them were, you know, but in the end, Sophie, IE, pulled it out and wins the first immunity challenge. Might I say, this immunity necklace, one of the best ones they've had. Better, better,
This is
better.
a good one.
I was like, y'all are finally doing something. These immunity statues were really good this season. I was like,
Mhm.
y'all art department has stepped up because I have been dogging them about the immunity idols for a very long time, especially after watching Australia Survivor, because their immunities killer. They eat
Yeah,
every single time,
I'm gonna look this up right now.
but the U.S. was like trash. I was like, nah. Now y'all getting it. Y'all are doing much, much better. This immunity idol, this immunity necklace, it eats. It's so good. It's clean, it's fun, it's classic. It's a good necklace. It's a good necklace.
I just looked up Australia's, and that is lovely.
They
That's great.
they eat every
Mhm.
single time. I'm like, yep. And I be
Yeah,
dogging, I dog US for the art department. But I will say the art department has stepped up because we've gotten great immunity necklace, great immunity idols, and the tribal council sets. Eating,
that's good.
eating,
That was good.
eating. Love, love it. I'm here for it, y'all. They stepped up their game, and I'm going to give you your flowers. US
Mhm.
Survivor, you're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. But yeah.
For the immunity challenge, I will say I think this is the first time that Jeff mentions season 50,
Yes.
and I am not happy about it.
I hate that. I hate that. And I'm going to speak for Jack too, because Jack put it in the chat. Jack mentioned how much they hated them even mentioning 50. I didn't like that either, because it's like, why would you do that? Because it feels like it takes away, like now people are going to be playing so they can get on 50. And it
Yeah.
manifested even in the conversation after that. We saw Savannah talking about, and we seen people like, I want to get on 50 because this is where the legends are made. And this, I'm like, legends are made because they do well in the game, not because they think they go get on 50. None of
Yeah.
these people who were legends became legends because they thought they were going to get on Survivor 50.
Yeah. It's like when I saw Savannah, she says later, she's like, I need to make these big moves. I need to build my legacy. And I'm like, you build your legacy by winning the season you are on right now.
But just playing a good game, period. Like,
Yeah.
it's legends who ain't never won this game, but they still legends. It's how you play the game. And now you saying, hearing her say, I have to make big moves to create my legacy, and knowing that we know about 50, I'm just like, boo.
There's
I
plenty
don't,
of
I don't like it.
there's plenty of amazing players who are legends who I don't think they made that many big moves or shiny moves. Like, I don't think Kim Spradlin made that many big moves. She
Right.
is a legend of the game because she
Mm-hmm.
plays so well. She's a
Yeah.
great player.
Yeah.
She played 2 great games of Survivor. So,
Yeah. I just don't, I didn't like the mention of 50, and then I didn't like the aftermath of the mention of 50, because now I feel like that's all everybody's going to be thinking about, and that's what they're going to base their game on, is trying to get on 50. And that, ugh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, but whatever. It just,
it's a bad taste in what I think is like a really, really great season. And it's just production's fault. It's not any of the players' fault.
no.
I really hope this doesn't kind of infect the mindset. I mean, it kind of has, because I think a lot of them might have thought, oh, we're too late, we're too recent a season to be even consideration for that cast. But he's like telling the entire cast, like on the merge, it's like, hey, we're still casting like spots, and we're looking at a couple of 49 spots. And I'm like, even if you did tell them, please don't put it in the episode. Like,
Right.
don't even put it out there. Let's focus on this great season we have right now. We'll get to 50 in the spring. Like, when it comes here, we will celebrate it. We'll have fun. We'll be here podcasting on it, and y'all can watch us talk about that. But right now we're in 49.
Right. Let's focus on 49. It feels like they're jumping ahead to 50. That's what it felt like. It was like, oh, we're jumping ahead. And now they're looking forward to getting a call to be on 50. And I'm like, and it feels like everything now has to be, they feel like they have to do something big and flashy and, to impress the producers to put them on 50. And it's, sometimes big moves are just dumb moves. Sometimes these big moves, they don't even play out right. And it's like, because it could have been a really big move this episode too, and somebody could have got royally screwed if people thought. But we'll talk about that later. I just don't. I don't like it. And see, even what happened later drives me nuts, because it feels very like people are reheating nachos, and that doesn't need to be reheated. And we'll talk about it when we get to tribal. But yeah, they go to have their feast. They get their food, and it's cool, but it's awkward because they want to talk game, but they know they're in mixed company and they don't know who to talk to and what to say.
They're in very mixed company.
Very mixed company. And so it's like, I don't know if I should say this in front of, hey. One talk game, but hey. Because I was talking about you, but I can't say you right now in front of...
Especially when the target for everybody was Sophie IE, and she's no longer on the board to be voted for, and she's right in the room, she's right at the feast, and so like they can't be like, okay, so who's our target now? And then Sophie IE was like, was it me?
Was it
what you're saying?
Yeah. While you're saying now?
Yeah.
Yeah, girl, it was. They was coming for you, and it's crazy. But
she knew. Sage told her.
Yeah. Because Sage and Juwan are like, look here. They made a whole alliance with Steven, the Bottoms Up Alliance. We didn't mention that, but the Bottoms Up Alliance is formed. And Juwan is very much into it, and so is Sage. They're like, we knew where we stood with Uli before we left. Sage knew where she stood with Uli. I don't know if Juwan knew, but I think Sage let him know when he stood. Juwan, and I think what Shannon saying Juwan's name made him realize where he probably stood with the original Uli. And so they were like, we know where we stood with original Uli. We know who is the hierarchy over at original Uli, and it wasn't us. So we got to try to knock out some of these people who, well, on this original Uli tribe, who wasn't rocking with us for real. Even though they now come into this, and Nate, Rizzo, and Savannah really do want to work with Juwan and Sage because they need the numbers, not because they want to work with them. They just needed the numbers. And so Sage and Juwan are playing this up like, yeah, Uli strong, definitely Uli tight.
Yeah.
We rocking with Uli.
I love you guys. You're
love you guys,
buddy. Yeah,
for everything. Mwah. 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 Yes. We finna get them out, right? We finna get, yeah, because we rocking with the original Hinas now. We rocking with them, and it's like, okay. But then also you got Sophie with an I, and Alex, who both have become better acquainted with Sophie with the original Uli, Alex with the original Hina. But they still want to work together, but they don't know how they could do it if one wants to go one way and the other wants to go the other way. And Sophie is like, hey, I think it's better that we stick with Uli because they got the numbers. But Alex knows Sage and Juwan are not their numbers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I hope. I mean, it doesn't look like there's too much contention in this round, which is probably good for Sophie with an I, because that original Uli side is not looking that good. We'll get to it, but they're not looking that good going forward. So this relationship is very important for Sophie, like going forward, because we'll talk about it later, but this is such an interesting dynamic. I feel like I was really worried it was going to be a Hina versus Uli kind of just battle back and forth with Sophie and Alex in the middle. It is that. It's those three groups, but now it's this bottoms-up secret alliance of cross-pollinated alliances.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting how it goes forward, because I don't think it's going to be just Hina versus Uli. It will be a test of, I think, Steven's sort of resolve with bottoms up, if he's willing to look at anybody within his own original tribe going forward. It seems for now like he seems like all in on this bottoms up. Like he seems to really, really like this alliance. And I think maybe he'll just pull up somebody like MC along with that, because that was like his number one back on original Hina. These dynamics are so interesting. I love merge votes like these, where it is kind of just like it's not throwing all on one person, which happens sometimes, and it's the most boring merge vote ever. It's actually like a sort of, oh, we don't know what's going to happen. And it's even made even more complicated. You'll get into, I'm sure you're about to get into it, MC on her little treasure hunt and everything that sparks on the tribe.
Yeah, the treasure hunt happens because now finally MC has lost an immunity challenge. This is her first loss in an immunity challenge, so she now has to her beware advantage, and now she gets to go find her idol so she can get her vote back. So she goes to the boat, she digs up her little treasure chest. It tells her she has to go into here's the map, go find this key to open up this chest. And so she's gone looking. She went walking, and she's in the jungle, and she's looking around, and she's like, I'm not good with directions. I'm not good with following directions. And so this is hard for me, but I'm looking. And just as she's looking, here comes Savannah.
She comes
Just
walking.
walking up. What you doing over here, girl? And MC like, girl, where you come from? Oh, Lord. None, just looking for a key. Oh, what you need? You need some help looking for the key? And she's like,
No.
nah, I guess no. And they both look down and they see the key on the ground, or and Savannah tries to grab this key, not knowing where this key is going to. Like, the treasure chest was not there with her. And she just goes and, well, she does have it's over there with her, but she goes and grabs, but MC is much quicker and grabs that key up. Is like, like,
this was like Karate Kid, like reflexes. Like she's like, and then she was like, "Nice try," and I was like, "Ooh,
like, period, MC, get her again."
Okay,
Get her.
Savannah, I will give her like props. She like nose dove for those keys. She doesn't even know what it is.
She's just like, it's a key, I want it.
I don't want MC to have it. Moral is the big thing. But then when like MC is like going through like fixing the keys, then Savannah's
100
like
keys on this ring. By the way, Survivor, you foul for that.
They got all the keys that they just hid in the jungle, and then they just put them on a little keychain.
Sure enough, that's literally what they did. That's literally what they did.
They reusing the props. I like that.
And recycle.
But like in the middle of it, like MC like trying to figure out which key goes to the box. Like Savannah's like, "Hey, buddy.
Hey, look,
hey, friend.
Hey, look at me. Look at me. I want to work with you. I do want to work with you. I am interested. I really want. No, look at me. I want to." And MC is like, "Girl, I am trying to go through 100 keys on this key ring without repeating myself. I ain't got time to be listening to you talking about your nonsense of wanting to work with me, because you don't want to work with me. Because you know how I know you don't want to work with me? Because you just tried to snatch up the key.
I was going to say.
Away from me.
It's because like, you tried to steal this from me.
If you really wanted to work with me, you wouldn't be nervous about me getting the key.
Yeah.
You're nervous because you don't want to work with me. So no, I don't believe. MC's like, yeah.
I mean, because MC's like reading the room right. Like, I think they know that Sophie, i.e., was the target. Now she's no longer the target. So now, like, she's like, okay, it's like it's me or it's Steven, honestly.
Or Christina.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna get rid of Christina because she ain't no threat. So it's me or Steven.
Yep.
So you don't really want to work with me. And she was just reading the room, and when she cracked me up, I did laugh. I chuckled a little bit when MC was like, and she kept looking at me, and her eyes had that glint in her eyes, and it was so intense, and it was a menacing stare. And it was like, it was just something about it was like, girl, no. I was like,
yeah.
So and Savannah does have those very intense eyes, and she looks at you and she's like, and you be like, girl, back up. Like, stop. Like,
look, I think Savannah is a good player.
Yes.
I think schmoozing someone socially, I don't think is one of her skills. She's great strategically. I think she's a very active player and a smart player. And I think that's gotten her to the point, but I don't think it's like making people like, it's not like Shannon, who is like a very like calming.
Yeah.
Or like Kim Spradlin, what I said before, people said she was a very calming presence and she was very chill, and like she was not very I don't want to say threatening, but it is kind of that, like she's a very intense personality, and so that's not a calming presence. Still, look, I love you, Savannah. I think you're hilarious. You're making me laugh. I'm excited to see the rest of the season, but Yeah, no, like
No.
make that quick schmooze, like get to know someone's like that's not really Savannah's strong
Mm-mm.
suit, and it
No,
did not work in this
it didn't
moment.
work at all. She's very intense, and it was just like yeah. I don't. Yeah, no, you're not. You're not beating these allegations of being too intense and like MC was just like, no, her stare is menacing and it's scary. It's a little intense for me, and I know, like she read right through it. Like you're not fooling nobody. But on the flip side, Savannah really picked up on MC not really trying to work with her either. She's like, she only saying what she wanted me to say to get me away from her. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna let her go. I'm like, yeah, don't nobody know about this. Don't tell anybody. Oh no, I'm not gonna tell her. MC knew exactly she was gonna tell everybody. She's like, yeah, she's gonna tell everybody. Ain't no way
Yeah,
she's not gonna tell anybody. And they both read each other correctly.
yeah. I will say on the opposite side, MC, she's just kind of a no nonsense, no
Yeah.
cap. Like this is my personality, and that's what she puts out there, and it's awesome and authentic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she could put on a face in that moment when she was so flustered to
Yeah.
kind of convince Savannah that she was like, yeah, we're definitely going to work together. And then they're never going to talk strategy again for the rest of this game.
No, and it's like I don't know how they wanted MC to react, or I don't know what Savannah wanted MC to say when she's trying to do something. Like she's focusing on a task at hand, and she knows she doesn't have a whole lot of time to get this done before they have to go to council. Because if she doesn't get it before tribal council is dead, and she
No
still
vote.
don't have a vote, so she's like, my focus is trying to open up this box with all these keys. I don't have time to talk to you. So yeah, girl, yeah. It. I don't think it was a brush. Well, it kind of was a brush off of like I don't want to work with you. It was more like let me focus on this. But like you said, I don't think they're going to talk strategy at all after
No.
this. It's like
They'll be cordial, they'll be
yeah,
polite, they'll be nice people to each other, but game
yeah.
talk is not going to come
It's yeah. It's not
back
good
and forth.
unless something happens where they lose their number ones.
I mean,
Crazier
crazier things
things
have
have
happened
happened.
on
Yes.
Survivor.
We've seen people go from bitter enemies to being a strongest alliance before. So it's like
Mhm.
I would not be surprised at anything that
Yeah.
happens at this point. But um trying to think of any other conversations that happened that was interesting. Oh, well, we
A
talked about Sophie and Alex, but yeah. Ouch. That
a
scratched me.
lot of the vote is kind of, well, on one side, they're both trying to finagle around
Mm-hmm.
um, idols that they know are in the game.
Yes,
Savannah goes and spills to Sophie with an eye
of course.
immediately, like, oh, there's an idol there. And Sophie is like, I
Ooh,
have my advantage.
I could take it from her.
Yeah, and I part of me was wondering, is she just gonna take it and there's gonna be no threat of their side going home? Um, but yeah, it's trying to figure out like if for the original Uli side, they're like we're between Steven and MC, and it's just trying to figure out is MC gonna play her idol? Because they want to get MC out, but
Mm-hmm.
Steven feels like the safer vote
Mm-hmm.
because they're like, I don't think MC's gonna play her idol for
Stephen.
Steven. And on the flip side, they're like, Rizzo has an idol. They're all very close, and Rizzo can pass that idol around to anybody. So
Right.
it is this kind of figuring out. They it seems like they really, really want to get out
So that,
Savannah, but they're
mhm.
worried how close Rizzo is with Savannah that he might play his idol for himself or for Savannah. And so it almost kind of makes the two of them safe because we'll see here like their group's starting to talk about Nate now as
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
target because that's a safe bet for them to just throw votes onto.
One person who was not looking for the safe vote was Sage. Sage was like, Rizzo is not going to use that idol for Savannah. He's not going to do it. He's not going to even play it tonight. And Jawan got the confirmation from Rizzo that he was not going to play the idol. He was like, we just need to make it cause some confusion and make it believe that, things are going to happen, idols could be used, but I'm not playing it. So Jawan immediately and goes and tells him Rizzo is not playing his idol tonight. And they're like, okay, but maybe he's saying that just to throw people off. And they're like, well, he wouldn't say that to me because he thinks we're on their side, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, I don't know. We could go for, Sage is like, we should just go for Savannah. Rizzo's not playing his idol for Savannah. He's going to play it for himself. Even though he says it's a group idol, we know it's not a group idol. It's Rizzo's idol. Rizzo's not going to play it for Savannah. And they're like, we'll see. I don't know. Nate's a safe option. Savannah's a great option. Maybe we put some on Rizzo just because Rizzo is also a good option to put out there. And if he doesn't play it, he just goes home with an idol. And it is what it is. A lot of conversation, a lot of what ifs and what could we do possibilities. One thing nobody mentioned was a shot in the dark at all. Nobody mentioned a shot in the dark at all, and I don't know if it's still in play, right? It's still in play?
It's still in play.
It's still in play.
I think as long as I don't know if anybody has nobody here who's still in has played their shot in the dark. Because I think everybody who's played it has been voted out now at this point. Yeah, I think it's still in play. I think the problem is that this merge vote, it's tight. It really is tight. They cannot afford to lose a single vote. And they can't afford to split the votes either because there's too many votes on either side. Splitting the votes is going to do a Stephen Fishback and get yourself voted out. So yeah, it's interesting to see them try to figure out where are the safe, votes to throw on so that we don't hit an idol. This is classic Survivor. I love like this kind of strategizing, and at some point you just have to take a shot in the dark. I honestly think, I'm going to be honest, I think the Hina side went in wanting to vote for Rizzo. If we want to get into tribal, I think Rizzo's words at tribal, I think they had a backup plan, which was Nate. And I think because of what Rizzo said at tribal,
and did.
I think they all kind of looked at each other and they were just kind of like, plan B.
Absolutely. So let's get into tribal. Let's go to tribal. And this is where Survivor 50 mention bothers me because it's showing itself very heavily in this. And I think, we all know, if as super fans of shows, we see a show, we see things happen, moves happen, and we love that move. It was such a great, iconic move. We would love to recreate that move. If I had a chance to be on a show like this, I would do it. And we see this when it comes to Rizzo and this idol. And he decides, well, everybody knows that I have this immunity idol. So I've always wanted to do this, Jeff. I'm just going to bring it out. This is an idol. Blah. I was like, we are reheating we're going to show the idol nachos. Like, it's been done. It's been reheated. It's been cold again and reheated again. And now this is like the fourth time these nachos are it's not the same effect.
They know he has it. Like,
we know.
It was good on other seasons when there were people on the tribe who did not believe them. And then when they saw the idol, they're like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, you are safe. Okay, got it. That's a TV moment. Everybody saw Rizzo's idol and they're like, okay, cool. I figured we were going to see it at some point. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow night. So
like, we know you got it. So it didn't. It did. And the crazy part is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Alex still has his idol, right?
I believe. Oh no, he played his idol, I believe, at the final 3 of the Kele.
Oh, did he play it? Oh,
he did play it, and then him and Sophie with an eye voted out Jeremiah together.
That's right. Okay, I'm about to say, because I couldn't remember. I'm like, did he have it? But no, he doesn't have it. But yeah, it just didn't have the same effect. And I love Rizzo. I really am rooting for Rizzo, but it just didn't have the same effect as it wasn't the moment that he was hoping it would be. It just kind of fell flat because everybody knew. And it was just like, okay, so you have this idol, you bring it out. So everybody knows don't vote for Rizzo because he may or may not play this idol.
Yeah, and this just it goes to what they said about Survivor 50, like build your legacy. It's not the players' fault. It's production like throwing this red meat out in front of them for them to jump at. And I
Hmm.
understand how they're acting because they're trying to. They want that spot. I would
They
want
want
that
that
spot
spot. Who
if
wouldn't
I
want
was there
that
too.
spot?
Exactly. Like they want to be somebody who is a returning player, has that chance to cement their legacy and everything. I mean, people, everybody who comes on Survivor now, they're super fans. They're all
Yes.
super fans. They're like us. They've
Yes.
watched every season. So they want to be as big as Parvati, as big as Sandra, as big as Kim Spradlin,
Hmm.
Tony Vlachos. You
Right.
know, they want to be like those big greats. But what made those people great was they were themselves.
Yes.
Honestly, I don't
Right.
think any of them were wondering about their own sort of what's my legacy? What's my legacy? I think Sandra's like, I'm going to do what Sandra would do, and Sandra protects Sandra. And that is why she's an icon and she's one of the greats.
Hmm.
Um, you're there for a reason. Be yourself. Like you're there for that reason. And I think when you're yourself and you do what you would do in the situation, that makes you the best player. And I think we see it time and time again with people who win Survivor and Big Brother and everything. One thing they always do very, very well is they know who they are, what they're good at. They don't try to overextend into situations that they're not capable
Right.
of. And I feel like I'm worried that this message is what we're going to see from it. People doing stuff that they really should not be doing because it's not in their toolkit.
Right.
Um, that's my worry. And
Yeah.
it's not too bad now.
No.
I'm just
But I
gonna
feel like
say
it's
I'm
gonna
very
get.
upset.
I'm
Yeah,
nervous.
I'm
I'm
upset
nervous.
that that production said it.
Yeah, because I'm nervous that we're going to continue to get people trying to do things to make that move, to do something flashy. And it seems very inauthentic instead of it just naturally happening. Or something happens unexpected and you're like, oh, like I want to be gagged. I like being gagged from these seasons. And I feel like them mentioning that people are going to be playing
Mhm.
like I want to be a big, make a big move so I
Yeah,
can get on 50. And it's going to be like, hmm,
I like big moves when they're organic. And
yes.
I'm not saying like they're bad moves. They could be good moves. They could
Hmm.
make these big moves for 50 and they still be good moves.
Hmm.
But I just like big moves that when they're organic. Like I
Right.
think of like heroes versus villains when Russell woke up one day and is like, we're going to vote out Danielle for no reason. For no reason. That was a big move. It was a
Hmm.
bad move and it was a big move. And it's a great moment because it's insane that he would even want to do that because that was him. It came from
Right.
him. Just let the players be themselves. I don't know. This is what I always feel like. Don't try to overproduce, please.
Right. And it's just, yeah. Other than that, we got a horror story about from Juwan about the horror stories. I like that comparison. Actually, I was like, that's actually pretty a good, comparison about Merge. I love Sage. Like, look, being in a group this large is always a natural horror story for me. So I feel that, but it's just weird that we're all together. What I found so funny, it's incredibly crazy to me that we are waiting to a merge and there were still people who had never been to tribal council. Like Christina, Sophie IE, and MC all walked into that tribal council for the first time. And Christina's face is like, wow, we've seen this look on everybody else when they went in for the first time, but we are at merge, we are at jury, and three people have never even seen tribal council
Mhm.
until that moment. That was crazy to me. And it's like it wasn't until I saw Christina's face that I realized I'm like, oh wait, they have not been to tribal council. That's crazy. Because she was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like, and
Yeah.
then they had to do the whole torch. I'm like, we are still lighting torches. Uh, we are still lighting torches at jury. and Merge.
That's
Crazy,
crazy. Crazy.
crazy, wild, wild behavior. But it, we never got a really good confirmation of what this vote was going to be. We had an idea of where it possibly could go, but we never got anything like, okay, yeah, we know where this was going. But I didn't think it was going. I said earlier they could have made a really big move right here if they wanted to, if they weren't going to play scared, but they played scared because they could have went with their guts and did what they wanted to do, and it would have worked out. Now I didn't want to see that happen because I didn't want to see Rizzo go if that because
Yeah.
but they could have done it. They could have
Mhm.
went and just wrote Rizzo's name down because he felt comfortable enough that he ended up not playing his idol that he pulled out publicly.
And he said he was going to play it. He's
He
like,
said he
I
was,
am playing it tonight.
I'm playing it. And they could have said, we'll see. But they didn't want to give them the opportunity to put somebody else's name down that they wanted to keep. I get it. I understand it. But you also could have wrote Savannah's name down. That also could have been
Mhm.
a huge move. I think a bigger move. But I didn't want to see Savannah go either. So, I'm not necessarily need to see Savannah go. But I didn't think it was gonna. Well, we knew what one side was gonna do, and we didn't know what the other side was gonna do because they had options and choices, and the other side didn't have as many options or choices, I guess. But MC decides to go and play her idol because MC is like, "Look, I don't know if I need it, but I think she was like, but I know Jay Heffernan told everybody. I know Savannah told everybody I got this idol. I need to get it out my hands." But she was like, I don't know if I need it or not, but I need to make sure I'm protected.
Yeah. I it's a tough it's tough when everybody knows you have an idol. I kind of feel like at that point sometimes it's even a disadvantage because your name is always going to be pulled into the mix
Mm-hmm.
for votes. I feel like MC just trying to flush the idol out, and if Sophie IE is available for vote next round,
Mm-hmm.
MC could just slide right back under the radar and nobody's going to talk about her because she doesn't have an idol. She doesn't have any of that stuff. She played
Right.
it. We could get her out at any time, as they might say, or something like that. It's not the worst move in the world
No.
to just make sure you're safe, rid yourself of the idol, and just be like, everybody knows that I have it. So it's kind of a detriment to me at this
Right.
point because I'm always going to come up in conversation because they're like, MC has an idol. Um, and also, like, it's her first time at tribal. She has not had these feelings before ever.
Right.
And it's her first time there. And she knows her name has come up in conversation. She knows she is a main target of the
Mm-hmm.
other side. I don't blame her. I don't
I
blame
don't
her.
either. I don't either. And I think honestly, MC can win an immunity idol. I really believe she can win an immunity necklace. So I'm not that worried about MC. I think getting rid of it was not the worst move for her. I think, like you said, people knew she needed to get it off her hands so people won't be like, mm. And that also, not that she knows this, but Sophie with an I cannot
Could
target
have
her because
could have
now
stolen her.
it's gone. So the only
Mhm.
person is somebody who's in your alliance. Do you take their or what?
Mhm.
I don't know. So, but the vote happens, and it, what we saw happening with Juwan and Sage played out perfectly for them.
Mhm.
Uh, and by a vote of 7-4, Nate was voted out of the tribal.
It's
And I was
sad. It's
sad. I wasn't happy. I like Nate. I didn't want to see
ni
Nate go.
Nate was nice. It feels like collateral damage for Rizzo and Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will say, namely Savannah. Savannah, I love you. I know it's a game, it's edited, whatever, but they just wanted to go after you, and I felt like
Mm-hmm.
Nate was the collateral damage because you were too close to Rizzo, which
Yeah.
good for you. But it is sad because I really liked Nate as a character, and it feels like he's just catching a stray bullet in this tribal here. But that's how it works when you are so sorry to use the word tribal on your
Mm-hmm.
alliances, and you're this group and you're this conglomerate and you're going up against another group, anybody in the group is a potential casualty. It's
Yeah.
dangerous that way. And I think it makes players like Sophie with an I, or Alex, or Sage Jawan, and even Steven to some degree. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
he's as known as a free agent as the others, but when you're seen as like a free agent, they're not people that they're looking at as
Right.
potential targets. They're looking at people within this group on the other side that we can identify. And I think as long as the people in the middle can remain that idea of a free agent, that's how they don't get these collateral damage stray bullets getting voted out. Sadly, Nate got that fate tonight.
He absolutely did. And is unfortunate. I really did enjoy Nate. I wanted Nate to be around here a little bit longer for just because I enjoy him. But it was what it was, unfortunately. I feel bad for him. I feel bad. But he is the first member of our jury. So he will have a say in who wins this whole thing. He is the mayor of Ponderosa. Look at that. Look at you, Nate. Mayor of Ponderosa, I guess.
That's a worthy
Um,
title.
it is it really is. I'm going to bring up the draft. Mike is going to disappear for a second, but it'll just be a second. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to bring him on. I'm going to bring him in. Uh-oh, what did I do? I messed up something. Bring Mike back. There we go.
I was in the nether region.
In the I let you go to Ponderosa for a minute, but
Yeah, I went to Ponderosa. I went to Ghost Island and I came back as an idol.
yes. But yeah, unfortunately for Nate had to get he got his torch snuffed, and Jack also lost yet another person on their draft team, leaving them with Alex and Rizzo.
Rizzo.
Alex and Rizzo for Jack. I still have Jawan, Savannah, and Sophie and IE, and Logan is still beating all of us with everybody else, literally everybody else.
Oh my gosh. He has 5 people.
He has 5 people. He only lost one person, and that was Shannon so far. So
Wow.
Logan's killing us right now, but that's okay. This game could do a lot of things. Maybe Logan will go on a losing spree soon. Who knows? But
I mean, this looks like the original Uli is on the outs, but I don't know. There's so many differing wants within this Hina conglomerate. There's Sophie with an I. Like, where does she go now? Like, is she going to stick with her Uli, or is she going to Alex, save me, take me with you, kind of
right,
thing? And then there's this bottoms up alliance, which they seem true to each other. They
yeah,
honestly seem like this is a good 3. Nobody's going to suspect it, that we're working together. They could move some stuff, but I think at some point maybe Sage and Jawan are kind of like, hey, you need to cut some Hina. Like, we need to cut some Hina to make us feel more comfortable with this alliance.
right,
Because what's to stop you from just being like, Hina's the numbers, by Sage, by Jawan, you know?
right,
So
right.
I still think this is anyone's game,
I do
honestly.
too. I honestly think this could go either way at this point.
I will say, if it wasn't for Rizzo's idol, I would say Rizzo and Savannah are in a very, very bad position, but they still have an idol. And this cast has shown you, when you become small enough numbers, the group looks to the next person.
Mm-hmm.
They just stop looking at what they were doing and they're like, okay, next person, which I think is turning out to be like a mistake, because they've completely taken the eyes off Alex and Sophie with an I, who are both great players, and they've
Mm-hmm.
totally like gone under the radar. There weren't even a discussion for original Uli for the Hina members. Like, that
Right.
was wild.
Yeah.
She didn't even come up in conversation.
No. not at all. And my only thing is, I think you're right. I think they do take their eyes off the ball. I think though, with the Savannah and Rizzo of it all, I don't know if they're going to allow them to forget about them, because
Mhm.
I think they're going to both, because I think they both play hard and they're both strategic, that they are not going to allow themselves to just, sink into the background while they try to cannibalize each other. And I think they're too strong of a threat for them to take their eyes off of them. I think Alex and Sophie with an I have perfected this woe is us. We were on this lowly Kelly tribe who didn't have anything, and they were able to integrate themselves where everybody trusts them now. I don't think Savannah and Rizzo will have that same effect, and I don't think they'll be able to do it.
Yeah, and I think Savannah specifically has burned a lot of bridges with people on this tribe, that I think there are just some players just do not like Savannah. Sage, I'm thinking specifically,
Mm-hmm.
kind of just wants to get Savannah out ASAP. I think that's kind of Sage's number one priority.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to be something Sage says until it happens. I don't think Sage can be convinced out of it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna come to a head, and one of them gonna have to go before that conversation is over.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting. The previews for next week had me like, yeah, Savannah's coming for blood, and she is not going to give up. And so we'll see what happens with that. We
I
shall
cannot wait.
wait to see how this turns out. But we are going to be back to talk all about it next week in some form. I don't know who's going to be here. Me and Mike might be here. Somebody else might join us or not. It's just us. Who knows? Who cares? Whatever happens, we're going to be here talking all about Survivor 49 on episode 8. And we hope that you join us to talk and listen, and let us know in the comments what you think. Or do you think we're wrong? Do you think we're right? Let us know. Let us know how you feel. Tell us in the comments. Subscribe on your way out if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to this channel and all of the channels. Follow us on all of our socials at The Cut Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can follow Mike and myself if you like. Follow us on our audio podcast links. Join our Patreon. Get your merch at LanaG'sCreations@Etsy.com. That QR code right on the right side of the screen. You can get it there too. And we're going to go because we got stuff to do. So we're going to go make more content. You click on the next video and continue watching us. And we'll see you all next time. So cheers, everybody.
Bye, y'all.